similar things about the reaping and the sowing. You know what I mean? But of course, you know, some people, when they use spicy language, they get fucking yelled at by everyone.
9 months using Daddy Bezos money has flexed.
Kind of interesting, though. This is Wahhaboutism.
Now that American soldiers have all but left Afghanistan, the UN warns the Taliban maintains close ties to Al-Qaeda and the country could once again become a breeding ground for international terrorists.
So help me God. Congratulations.
Bro, they are so... They love... Dude, look at these glamour shots, dude. Literally, like...
Again, become a
what are you, trying to fuck the Taliban, dude? What's going
breeding
on?
ground for international
Yeah, that is the guy from the interview, by the way.
terrorists.
Yo, they're like, look at how fucking drippy and hot they are. Like, that's what you want. That's what Vice wants you to get out of this, okay? Like, don't you want to fuck these mujahideen?
So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
The Taliban, fearing a change in policy, had a clear message for the new US president. Joe Biden has just been elected. Do you think that could potentially change the situation?
He's
gonna say, Joe Biden, you have 2 years. Yusuf Al-Bidan, you have 2 years. This is Mohammed Kanakin, full face of Kurdistan. Joe Biden.
Bad time, but I was wondering if you would
Wait, what is he saying? He's saying to own Trump's policies by withdrawing his forces. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying as well. It's just like this is a continuation of the Trump negotiations.
But you're now no longer fighting against American soldiers. You're fighting against people who believe in the same book as you, who are the same religion as you. You're fighting against your brothers.
نکوم د شهر مطابق قوانین کدا حکومت و مینموک د دې سم کوم ستونزه نه لرو امریکانو سم کوم ستونزه چې وره شوی هغه په دې شکل چې دوی په موږ غرض نه لري موږ په دې غرض نه لرو صرف هغه یو دی وتلو لار هم دوی ته ورکړی ده چې دوی په یعنی په امن کې ووځي.
That's how you know these dudes are psycho, okay? Because he doesn't even say like, yeah, this is a fucking puppet state that the people don't want. These are like American dogs or anything. He's literally like, yeah, we're killing him because they don't believe in my form of Islamic law, that my interpretation of Islamic law. And that's how you know these motherfuckers are actually full-blown invested psychopaths. You know what I mean?
د پلاس جوړ شوی نظام په افغانستان کې اوس چلیږي.
Was that a message or a threat?
د موږ خبر هم ورته هم د اختار هم دا دی.
By the way, yeah, the chatter is right. He's wearing a gold watch, which ironically is literally haram. Men are not supposed to wear gold in Islam. So that's like another ironic moment there. I don't think the vice person like personally put that on there on purpose, but men are literally... No, it's not. Yes, it is.
ورته دا د اختار هم دا دی که د جنگ زیاتوي نو موږ د جنگ او د جهاد لپاره بالکل آماده یو موږ په جهاد باندې نه ستړي کیږو په زخمو باندې نه غمجن کیږو په شهادت باندې نه دردیږو موږ که شهیدان شوم کامیاب یو که په ستړي وم کامیاب یو که په جنگ کې وم کامیاب وو موږ فاتحانه توګه کابل ته انشاءالله ننوځو دا د موږ لار او کامیابي ده.
Then again, also, martyrdom and suicide is literally fucking... I mean, I guess he's not saying suicide, but still, that's also a sin. War robots in Afghanistan's deadliest year? Jesus Christ. Okay, I wanted to show you guys why this was destined to fucking fail. But before that, let's hear what the Taliban spokesman is saying now.
Our leadership have instructed our forces to remain at the gate of the Kabul, not to enter the city. We are awaiting a peaceful transfer of power.
When you say peaceful transfer of power, what do you mean? What is actually likely to happen?
It means that the city and the power should be handed over to the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, and then in future we will have an Afghan inclusive Islamic government in which all Afghans will have participation.
When you say participation, do you mean one vote, one person? What do you mean by participation?
Participation means that we will have in the government other Afghans. They will be part, we will have them in the future government.
But it will all fall under the umbrella of the government of the Taliban, the Islamic Emirate, as you describe it?
Yes, there will be, as I said, an Afghan inclusive Islamic government.
Will there be a delegation going to Doha tomorrow to speak with Mullah Baradar? Because there are a lot of rumors that he has arrived in Kabul and the current president, Ashraf Ghani, has handed power over to him. Can you give our viewers some clarity on that, please?
They already said they're not going to negotiate with anyone, but I don't know.
Mullah Baradar is here in Doha. He has not gone to Kabul. These are just rumors.
There is also a lot of concern from women in Afghanistan, in Kabul. They have been writing to me, they have been texting me. They are concerned that you will reimpose the regime of the 90s back in Afghanistan, where women couldn't go to school, where girls couldn't go to school, they couldn't work. Can you give us some clarity on what your plans are for that?
We have taken already many aspects of the country and also many parts of the country. There are hundreds of schools for girls, universities there where the girls students are studying. There is no restriction on them. They are continuing their studies and they are going to schools they were going in the past. So
in Herat, for example.
Yeah, they are still continuing studies, no. But by the way, okay, here's another fucking ironic similarity, but like, if he could just basically be like, none of that pussy shit, like no gender studies, okay? No liberal arts, religion only.
Women are telling me that when they arrived at the gates of their university yesterday, Taliban fighters told them to leave.
No critical race theory.
And that there would be instructions from Quetta Shura about whether they could attend university or not. That is what the fighters on the ground are telling the women of Herat.
No, what I'm telling is the policy. The policy is that women can have access to education and to work, and of course they will observe.
I love how liberal this is, dude. Women can have access to education, like in America, for example.
My man.
Americans can have access to healthcare. Now that doesn't mean that you can get the healthcare, but you can have access to it. My friend Ted Cruz says they're presenting some engaging ideas.
The hijab, that's it.
When you say the hijab, do you mean a headscarf on their head or a burqa covering their face?
No, burqa is not the only hijab. There are many types of hijab. One of them you already mentioned.
See, he's saying, see, they've lowered it. They're saying no more burqas. You know, we're gonna let fucking women show face and stuff. I still find this Mark Brennan exchange the most illuminating, honest, and how Biden thinks about Afghanistan.
You said the Washington Post quoted you this week in a story about Afghanistan, saying that back in 2010, you said to Richard Holbrooke, the then envoy, "I'm not sending my boy back there to risk his life on behalf of women's rights. It just won't work. Not what we're there for." Is that how you remember it? Or what did you mean?
What I meant was there's 1,000 places we could go to deal with injustice. I can think of 10 countries where women and or children and or people are being persecuted or being hurt. But the idea of us going to be able to use our armed forces to solve every single internal problem that exists throughout the world is not within our capacity. The question is America's vital self-interest at stake or the vital self-interest of one of our allies at stake? And the fact that they have a system...
Thank you for 7 months.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my fucking mind, dude. I've lost my mind so fucking hard I forgot the top of the hour ad break. That was supposed to come 6 minutes ago. 6 whole minutes has passed. And I just fucking forgot, Jack. So I'm going to run it now. While this buffers, I'm going to run the top of the hour ad break. Your tomatoes only make me stronger. Nom, 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 nom. I'll eat all of your tomatoes that you throw at me. You understand? If you'd like to no longer see the ads, though, if you want an ad-free broadcasting experience, uninterrupted, you can subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime account, that is, of course. Or you can use an ad block or a VPN, but Twitch Prime is free. Here's the 1-minute ad break now.
As they do in parts of Pakistan, as they do in parts of other countries, that
say Saudi Arabia, coward.
We're going to send troops because there is not, human rights are not being valued to the same degree that we are.
Say Yemen. What's going on with women in Yemen?
Bezos bucks.
How they doing?
That's a different story about sending combat troops. We should call it out. We should go to the United Nations. We should be saying, this is what's happening. We should try to shame and get the world to put pressure on and economic pressure on people who engage, countries that engage in that, but not send troops. That's what I meant. It is not sufficient. That was my point. And the idea was, and I think Richard had said something like, well, women are being abused there. I said, they're being abused a lot of places around the world. Are we going to send our American forces all over the world to make sure that stops?
But then don't you bear some responsibility for the outcome if the Taliban ends up back in control and women end up losing the rights?
No, I don't. Look, are you telling me that we should go into China go to war with China because what they're doing to...
Yes. I mean, he's right, by the way. But like, yes, if it were up to MSNBC, and if it were up to CNN, and if it were up to like the military industrial complex, yes, the argument is, yeah, kind of like that'd be pretty tight, or at least like more Cold War shit. Like obviously you can't do full blown fucking, hot conflict with China. That would be bad for business. But like, it would be kind of good for business if we were just like engaging in wars in Africa. You know what I mean? Like that would be tight. And that's precisely what they are going to do. And that's precisely what they want to do. Dissing MSNBC less than an hour before you air? No, they already canceled because they're talking about Afghanistan.
The Uyghurs, 1 million Uyghurs out in the West in concentration camps? Is that what you're saying to me?
It was your quote, sir. I was asking you.
No, I know. I gave the answer. Do I bear responsibility? Zero responsibility. Mm-hmm. The responsibility I have is to protect America's national self-interest and not put our women and men in harm's way to try to solve every single problem in the world by use of force. That's my responsibility.
This graph of opium production after America invaded is crazy. Yeah, I mean, what a lot of people don't recognize is that one thing that will hurt the bottom line is the opium production in Afghanistan, because the Taliban were not a big fan of the opium production. Afghanistan has incredible fields that you could use for cotton production. And yet, for some fucking reason, once we invaded, we decided, yeah, I mean, that would be competitive against our interests, so you should just do the opium instead. How the Afghan opium poppy farming has grown, cultivation in Afghanistan in hectares. Yeah.
Pogo Jack. "19 months I love you" has say it back.
Of course, I excuse crimes against women, but opium, no, that's too far. I mean, that doesn't mean they're fucking good, dude. I thought Taliban makes their money from selling opium on the black market, or am I mistaken? Well, now they do. But that's how it works with everything. Dude, this is like too much TrueAnon stuff, but it's like how the Zetas, Zetas, take advantage of like Mexico's national oil reserves. Like they will steal whatever the fuck is being taken out of the land. They will steal and then sell that. You know what I mean? They just intercept, steal, and sell that on the black market. Say it back? Say what back?
I can think of 10 countries that women's rights are being violated. Deal with the US first.
Say what? He said he loves you. Say what? He said I love you. Say it back to him. No, motherfucker, I'm not saying it. Suck my dick, chat. Jesus Christ, you guys like get caught up on this dumbest shit. I swear to God. Your opinion on Pakistanis and Afghans who are justifying the deaths of thousands because the majority of Afghans like the Taliban? Sorry for bad English. Cringe take, I'm out. Dude, listen, then fucking leave, okay?
Has raid.
And I'm not going to apologize. You guys are being so fucking annoying, dude. Seriously. Like, I'm literally trying to fucking educate 50,000 people on what the fuck's going on in Afghanistan. And if your fucking main concern is like a random dono said, I love you, and you need to say it back, then the level of fucking parasocial behavior that has gotten completely out of control. And now, the moment that I fucking shit on you, you're going to be like, dude, we're just memeing. And also, it's like one chatter. I know how you behave as a fucking hive mind, okay? You're literally going to be like, oh my God, dude, it was just like one chatter. And it's not. It's not one fucking chatter. It was a sea of fucking psychos. Shut the fuck up. Stop being cringe, dude. What the fuck? We got company. We got like new people in here right now that are here to learn. Yeah. Chat's favorite fucking retaliation is we were just memeing. Oh my God. And then the second fucking retaliation is, oh dude, it was just one guy. One guy equals chat. I want to share with you a story from a 2011 trip to Afghanistan that perfectly encapsulates why our mission there was flawed by design and why, despite the heroism of our soldiers, it's time to leave. Read the whole thing, it's worth. I was there with a bipartisan House delegation. We wanted to get outside of Kabul to see Obama's surge in action. The military picked Parmakan, a small town in the Herat province. 20 people out of 50K, calm down. See, this is what I mean. Like, shut up. Take an hour off. You're pissing me off, dude. It's not just 20 people. Is this Twitter thread from Project Veritas? It was linked from Mike from Project Veritas. Mike from PV.
Boo.
Anyway, let's keep going. We were greeted by the army unit stationed there. Their leader was an impressive guy from Goshen. These guys were badass, rightly proud of having run the Taliban out of town. They introduced us to the village elders, and we set off to a tour of the town.
Come on,
the elders told us.
Come here and sit on old Joe's lap, and I will let
the
you
elders told us that the Taliban
there.
used to come into town and steal their crops. Now with the U.S. Army protection, the farmers could harvest in peace and sell their crops at market prices. The Taliban were still their customers, but at least now they get paid thanks to the U.S. As we walked, we noticed the fields were filled with gorgeous, colorful flowers. We asked the elder what this crop was. The one they now sold to the Taliban. Poppy, he said without hesitation. I turned to one of the Republicans on the trip, to Kensinger, and said, so the U.S. is here protecting the heroin trade that provides the Taliban with an income to continue the insurgency we're supposed to be fighting? This was the U.S. in Afghanistan. Our presence there was a recruitment boon for the Taliban. This is 100% true, by the way. Other times, like in Parmakan, even when we won, took territory over from the Taliban, we were losing, safeguarding their income. From the start, the mission was flawed by design. Except Chris Murphy, who once very famously said, God damn it, we can't even fucking coup d'etat Venezuela right. What the fuck is wrong with this administration? Can't we just have a little soft coup? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? That was the mission. The mission was never failed from the start. That was literally the mission. Okay? That's how the mission was. And that's been the mission. I mean, narcotics trade is like kind of the bread and butter, dude. That's kind of our bread and butter. We do this shit everywhere, all the time.
Canadian federal election in 36 days.
Democracy was the mission. It was never. You're completely delusional if that is. I mean, obviously that's a joke, that person that said that, but. Nice hairband girl says Kanye West 43. He said, nice hairband girl. That's awesome. Like what? He used girl as a pejorative. I went to Afghan to protect the poppies, then came back and the VA prescribed me opiates. What I'm talking about, brother. What do you mean? Have you read this person's account of Afghanistan? I deployed there twice, once in 2008, once in 2009. It was already obvious that the Taliban would sweep through the very instance we left. I know how bad the Taliban is. I know what they do to women and little boys. I know what they're going to do to the interpreters and the people who cooperated with us. It's awful. Afghanistan is a dusty beige nightmare of a place full of proud, brave people who do not fucking want us there. We called them Hajis. And worse, they were better than we were, braver and stronger and smarter. I remember going through the phones of the people we detained and finding clip after clip of Bollywood musicals, women singing in the fields of flowers. Rarely did I find anything incriminating. I remember finding propaganda footage cut together from the Soviet invasion and our own operation Enduring Whatever, and laughing about how stupid the Afghans were to not know that we aren't the Russians, and then eventually realizing I was the stupid one. Damn, that's fucking sad. American soldier thread cringe. I mean, I think it's good to hear the perspective of fucking people who are actively fighting against that. Okay, so I don't give a shit. Yeah, they fucked up. They recognize it, and now they speak out against it. The best you can expect from people when the overwhelming majority do not feel conflicted. I remember how every year the U.S. would have to decide how to deal with the opium fields. You could let them alone, and then the Taliban would shake the farmers down and use their money to buy weapons, or you could carpet bomb the fields and then the farmers would join the Taliban. Or you could give the farmers fertilizer as an incentive to grow wheat instead of opium poppy, and the farmers would sell the fertilizer to the Taliban, who used to make explosives for IEDs that could destroy $1 million MRAP and maim everyone inside. I remember we weren't allowed to throw batteries away because people who worked on the base would go through the trash and collect hundreds of dead batteries, wire them together so they just had enough juice for one charge and then use that charge to detonate an IED. Very resourceful, the Taliban are. I remember the look on my roommate's face after she got back from cutting the dead bodies of 2 soldiers out of an HMMWV that got blown out of an IED that I always imagined was made with fertilizer from an opium farmer and detonated with 100 thrown out batteries. I remember an Afghan kid who worked at the DFAC cafeteria who we called Cowboy, always wore this cowboy hat and an I'm with stupid t-shirt someone had given him, always with a big smile, high school age. Cowboy was a good student and he wanted to go to college in America, but there weren't colleges that took Afghans. The education system was too shit. No program to help kids like him. I looked. I wonder if he's dead now for serving his food and dreaming of something different. Humvee. Yeah. Jesus Christ, that's dark. But if Cowboy is dead, then he died a long time ago. And if Cowboy's dead, it's our fault for going there in the first place, giving his family the option of trusting us when we are the least trustworthy people on the planet. We use people up and throw them away like it's nothing. And now we are leaving the predictable thing that is... Now we are leaving and the predictable thing is happening. The Taliban is surging and taking it all back. They have what you can't buy or train. They have the patience and a bloody mindedness that warrants more respect than we ever gave them. I am team get the fuck out of Afghanistan, which is, as a friend pointed out to me today, has always been team Taliban. It's team Taliban or team stay forever. And there is no third team. Oh, wow, this is literally what I said earlier today. So I'm sitting here reading the sad fucking tweets about the suffering in Afghanistan and the horror of the encroaching Taliban and how awful it is that it is happening. But I can't stop feeling this grim happiness. Like, finally, you fuckers, finally you have to see it too. No more blown up soldiers. No more Bollywood videos on phones whose owners are getting shipped to God knows where. No more hypocrisy. No more pretending it didn't mean anything. It didn't. It didn't mean a fucking thing. Jesus Christ. Couch activist speech? What? That person literally fucking toured in Afghanistan, dude. It's like the opposite of being a couch activist, dude. What the fuck? And she writes for Truth Out. So, you know, probably a lefty vet.